Happy Sunday, everybody. This is Chris from CD Scale Models. Wanted to stop in. First of all, I don't think when I did the first Cars and Coffee 2 weeks ago, I thanked Paul from Left Coast Model Cars. So, Paul, I apologize. I want to thank you for doing this, and I'm kind of glad that I was able to jump into this build and to this session, I should say. And I didn't do anything last week because I was getting ready for the show, and there really wasn't anything to talk about. So I wasn't going to just come on here just, aimlessly just to, waste everyone's time. There's enough of that, I'm sure, going on. So anyway, there's a few things I wanted to touch on. I went to Mosquito Con yesterday, and I know Onyx put up a video, Onyx Fierro. If anyone knows who he is, he has some video segments of the show. It was a really good show. It was fun. I'm looking forward to the NNL in a couple of weeks, I'll say that. And Onyx and I kind of hung around for a good part of the day. Craig, the Mutt modeler, was there, and he made a video this morning. He judged, as usual, as he always does. It was a great time. The weather was not so great, but it was indoors, didn't matter. So anyway, I brought the Torino that I mentioned on my first Cars and Coffee 2 weeks ago. So I brought that yesterday. I'm not going to show that kit because I showed it 2 weeks ago. I showed the Nova last year. And if anyone remembers, here it is. I'm going to show it a little more in detail. If anyone didn't see it from last year, because I've been out of circulation for a while, I brought the Torino, I brought the 7D Yenko, and I brought the 7D. This is the Chevelle SS696, the Revell one. I converted it into a Yenko. And wasn't too difficult to do. I had to get the decals from Keith Marks in Canada. And I'll go over the builds really quick. But first thing I want to do is have a sip of Java. There you go. That'll stay there. First thing I did, I haven't used my new booth yet, but I have everything ready. I just haven't had a chance to use it. Anyway, last week I got these. These are the gallery markers. Craig from Craig's Corner mentioned them. A few other people mentioned them, but I just happened to notice them on his channel. They're the metallic markers. I didn't use them yet. I just looked them over. I'm very excited to use them. I think they'll be really good for my builds because I do a lot of car builds. And, if you want to add little touch-ups on metallizers, or if you want to, master cylinders, or any little thing like that on engine work, because I have a lot of metal colors. So I think it would come in handy. I'm going to try them. So I have them in my arsenal. I recommend them. Even though I haven't used them yet, I just think that the colors and everything that you get, I just think it makes sense to get them. But that's just me. When I do use them, I'll let you guys know. These things could be a pile of crap for all I know, but I have high hopes. Gallery stuff is good quality. So I'll go over the builds quickly because I did want to pose a question to the community, and I don't think it's been asked, and if it has, I apologize, but I just thought about it, and I'll get into that really in a few minutes. Let me just go over the builds quickly. I don't want to take too much time. They're all fully detailed. Doing the Yenko, I always wanted to do the Yenkos, and when I made my video a while ago about doing all three Yenkos, the only issue that I had was I bought the Yenko Camaro kit. I bought the earlier Fast and Furious one. It's not the most recent one with the red and blue box art. It's the one that has it's like the slate blue box art. The kit I wasn't happy with. When I got the kit from the person I got it on eBay, there was some parts missing, which I didn't realize, and I needed glass, and I just wasn't happy with the kit, the quality of the parts of the kit, honestly. The Fast and Furious, the more recent one, I understand it's a better kit, and because I'm getting a complete kit, as opposed to me getting parts from here and there, I thought that the kit was fully complete, but apparently there were some other parts that were in there that shouldn't have been in there, and it wasn't quite the right Camaro engine. And I just said, you know what? I'm not gonna. The hell with it. I ideally wanted to bring all three Yenkos because I thought there'd be nothing cooler than having all three Yenkos at a car show. That was my hope. Didn't happen. Anyway, The Nova, I fully detailed it, like I always do. Aluminum air cleaner from Protec. All the wires, I ran lines, if you can see. I even did a little more on this before I brought it to the show. But if you look towards the firewall, you can see I have little tiny lines that kind of go, they're just little wires that they have. And I followed the actual Nova Yenko. I found a few real ones online, and I just studied the engine, and I just said, okay, they have that line, they have that. I'm going to replicate it, I'm going to run it. And I did it. All the battery cables and lines and wires, I ran all metal lines. And I mean, like I said, I added a couple of things probably the last week and a half before I brought it, and I wanted to finish it. So I did. Underneath, the same. K&S aluminum tubing, weathered. I used the Tamiya, it's like the eyeshadow makeup, the Tamiya one. And then I also used MIG Dark Wash all around. And I put, the bolt details where appropriate. It's a really nice kit. I'm very happy with it. It's a great blue, and I love it. Now, the Yenko Chevelle, I love this kit too. What's funny about this Chevelle is I'm not a late six. I don't like this. I don't care for this style of Chevelle body. I know a lot of people like it. It's very popular. I really don't care for it, honestly. But the Yenko one, I do like. For whatever reason, I do like the Yenko one. So, I guess sisters. All right. And again, it's all Model Car Garage, photo etch emblems on the entire car. So I did this in Model Master lacquer. I bought this years ago when I first got into my channel. It's Fathom Green. I decanted it, and this was before Model Master was going out of business. I just always liked the Fathom Green. I said, I'll use it on something. I thought it was perfect for this car. I found a Fathom Green one, and I just pretty much replicated the actual car. And all the photo etch stuff, these are Mr. Model steel exhaust tips. The undercarriage is weathered. They basically look identical. I mean, if you put engine to engine, I made them identical because they're Yenkos. There's really nothing different. The Yenko Camaro engine's a little bit different, but basically, I'm going to try to do this. If you look at the engines, I mean, I copied every line and every little thing. They're both identical. I mean, they're the way that I ran the lines and the cables, that was done by design because these cars are supposed to look a certain way. So all the stuff that's on this car is on this one. I did have to use the American racing wheels because I do like those. I wanted this Nova to look like a sleeper. So I did use the American racing wheels, and then I put the tire decals, the Chabot tire decals. No, I'm sorry. These are the Firestone wide ovals. I apologize. These are the ones from the AMT kit. So I had to do some modifications, but I did it, and the car's fully crucified. I'm not going to get into it, but I mean, I have all the lines and all the cables and everything run. Again, firewall details underneath, washed. So these kits really did come out great, I have to say. And the Camaro, the Yenko Camaro, I am going to the NNL in a couple of weeks, and I have no doubt in my mind that I will not have a problem finding that kit, as well as a couple of other kits, and of course a few other doodads that I need. But anyway, that's those two kits. I brought them yesterday, and I was very pleased. I did the Model Car Garage Yenko badges. I put the clear blue and red Tamiya clear acrylic, and then I scraped the excess off. And if you can see, I mean, these really look like Yenko badges. I'm going to show you. Let me hold this. I mean, can you see it? Damn glare. Anyway, they have the red and blue. The cars are correct. They really are. And I'm very pleased with them. And so anyway, my question is, I was talking about this last year with Chris, Diablo, Ortlieb, and Frank from Frizzo's Model Cars. I'm sure you know who they are as well. Again, all great buddies of mine. We were talking last year at Mosquito Con about builds and how you get into your builds. And, Frank was saying, yeah, I kind of have a lot of builds going all at once. That's just my process. And, I'll stop and I'll go to one and then I'll stop and go back to another. And so anyway, we were just talking about that. And I remember Chris asked me last year, he's like, Chris, how do you tackle a build? And we were talking about it. So anyway, there's a kit that I'm looking for, and I'm going to find it at the NNL. It's the 2006 Mustang, the Shelby 350H, the Hertz edition. I like that car for some reason. I don't know why. It strikes me as a cool looking car, and I like it. And I just kind of wanted to do it. I'm not going to do it in the typical black and gold. I know that car only comes one way, but that doesn't mean that I have to do it that way. I am going to do something very similar to it. It's going to be Ford. I have an idea, and I like that car for some reason. So anyway, even before I have the kit, because I don't have the kit, mind you. I know I can go on eBay and click. I want the Revell Germany one ideally because of the decals. And if I can't, I'll take the American edition. But since I'm going to the NNL, I figured I have a very good chance of finding that car. I mean, it's not an uncommon car. So anyway, I started to do research on the car. Coming across, I found that they make a photo etch set. Surprise, surprise. Very difficult to get. I got it. And then I was also doing some research on the kit, people that built it, and there was some different things. Well, when you build the kit, look out for this, watch out for this, and they were going down the line with different things. And I took note. Now, so anyway, as I was doing all this, I was telling Chris and Frank, I'm like, I don't even have the kit yet. And, I have all these plans in my head. So my question is, how do you guys out there plan or prep, or how do you go about a build? I mean, do you guys just walk into your model room and just look around and go, I'm feeling like a Mopar today, or I'm feeling like a BMW? Or do you see something on the street and go, oh my God, I got to go home and build that? Me, I'm very methodical. I build one at a time, and I have a process. And if you guys know me, I'm very anal, and everything has to be just so, and it has to be precise, and it has to be a certain way. And I guess that kind of shows in my builds because, I don't just slap anything together. Everything has to match, everything has to flow, everything has to look a certain way. So when I do a kit, I'll buy a kit that I like. I just don't buy any old kit to say, yeah, I got it, it came out. Yeah, I'll do something with it one day. I buy kits that I'm going to work on. So then I'll hold on to the kit. And then if I think of something or see something, then I'll take that idea and then I'll run with it. And then I'll kind of go into my head and I'll say, okay. And then I'll start to look and say, well, before I build this kit, let me look and see what the pitfalls are if anyone else built it. And then I go on forums and different things, and they say, yeah, when you build the kit, make sure you glue on the valance plate. Don't glue on the valance plate. I like to know what I'm getting into before I start a build. And then I look and see, well, okay, it's an older kit, so they probably don't have dash decals. I'm not a fan of picking out the dash decals, so then I go, well, let me see if Best Car Model Parts makes dash decals for the kit. Hey, they do. Great. Okay. The decals are old. They're 30-year-old decals. Let me see if I can find someone that makes decals. I want to make sure that I don't jump in the pool and then go, oh boy, I can't swim. And I know some people build that way, and that's all fine, well, and good, but my process is I want to make sure that when I start the build, I know that I can confidently finish it the way that I want in my mind's eye. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my time. So that's my question to you guys. I just wanted to see how you guys build, what your process is, and things of that nature. And the last thing that I wanted to say was this build won first place at Mosquito Con yesterday. And before I forget, Onyx, he won for a Corvair, a Chevy Corvair. And well deserved. That car was unbelievable. It was his friend's. He built it for him. He did an outstanding job. And then he built an old MPC Pontiac GTO. I believe it was a 70. And it was a hardtop. He made it into a convertible. He was telling me it was probably the second worst kit he's ever encountered on the planet. He showed me the kit, and I said to him, I said, Onyx, watch. I said, watch you win an award for this just because you're saying how bad it is. He goes, no, I'm not going to win. He won for that. And he was astounded. I was shocked that I won. First of all, you guys know me. First of all, I was surprised that I won anything, honestly. And I didn't think I was going to win for this particular build. Honestly, I was going to leave this one home. I thought the Yanko Chevelle, if out of all three of my kits, I thought that Yanko Chevelle would win. I'm not joking you. And here's why. Last year, the rear quarter glass on this kit, it fits, but as I was doing some other stuff, it shifted a little bit, and then I couldn't quite fix it because the chassis was on. So I had to kind of finagle it with the chassis on, and I kind of got it, but I wasn't all that happy. And then on the bottom over here, there's a little tiny, you can't really even see it. It's super tiny. It's half the size of a pinhead. Glue sat on there a little too long, and I couldn't get it off in time. And I said, the hell with it. So I brought the build because I said I like to bring three. So I brought it because it was the third car. I had no idea this car would win. I'm not joking you. And I was shocked. And I won first place. First of all, I won in the street machine class because that's basically what my cars fall into, street machine, unless I build like a hot rod or something, which I don't. So out of all the street machine builds in the category, I thought they said in third place, Chris Donatone. So as I'm walking up to get the plaque, I took it, I shook the guy's hand, and as I'm walking back, I looked at the plaque, it said first place, and I went, what? I got first place. Doubly shocked. And I was also in the running for best civilian vehicle, which I didn't even know what the hell that was, honestly, but Craig explained it to me. And I was up with someone else, and this other person had a NASCAR, and he beat me out. But my understanding is I was very close, and I was in very good company because the person that beat me has been around modeling a lot longer than me, very well known in the community. So if I lost to somebody with that history, I'm okay with it. That means I'm going in the right direction. So anyway, I wanted to pose that question to you guys. This is my third year in a row going to Mosquito Con, and this is the third year that I won an award. Pretty cool, but I'm looking forward to the NNL. The award's nice and everything. I don't really care. I want to go meet my friends, hang out, buy my stuff, go out after, have a nice meal, have a nice glass of wine, and just enjoy the day. That means more to me than this trophy. So anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. Have a great Sunday, and I hope to see you next week. See you later, everybody.